Hello and welcome back to Rongmar. In today's art lesson, we're going to be taking a look at some World War I artists. Our vault for today is to explore and discuss the work of different World War I artists. First of all, what do you already know about World War I? Pause the video and write down a few things. Well, no matter what you wrote down, I bet this one is going to be a new piece of information to you. During World War I, lots of artists were officially hired by the government. Their job was to record the events of the war through drawing and painting. Why would the government want official war artists, do you think? Pause the video and have a think. Well, there were a few reasons why the government would hire some artists. One reason was to show what the experiences of war actually looked like. Another was so that people could have a way of remembering those who lost their lives. And the last reason was as a form of propaganda. Propaganda is information that's used to push forward a particular point of view. What point of view about the war would the government of the United Kingdom have wanted people to have? Pause the video and give a little think. We're going to take a look at a selection of artwork created by official war artists in the UK. Have a look at each one and think about what do they tell you about the war. Okay, our first picture. Take a look at this scene. What do you think is happening in this painting? Pause the video and write down an answer. This painting is called an aircraft assembly shop by Anna Airy. It was painted in 1918. Anna Airy was one of the first women to be commissioned as a war artist. This painting shows a busy aircraft assembly factory in London. Planes are in different stages of production for the war. Our second painting is this one. What do you think is happening in this painting? Pause the video and write down an answer. This painting is called Women Operators, and it's painted by George Reed in 1970. In this painting, we see the amount of women that began working in factories during World War I. They took the place of the men who had gone off to fight in the war. Our next painting is this one here, by Edward Hanley Reed from 1915. What do you think the man in the picture is doing? Pause the video and write down an answer. This painting shows a British infantryman in a trench on observation duty. He is standing at the top of 3 dirt steps and is looking out through a gap in the sandbags into no man's land. This painting is called An Observer. Sticking with the theme of life on the battlefield, take a look at this one, The Harvest of Battle by Christopher Neveson. What is happening in this scene? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, in this painting we can see a line of wounded men walking through a muddy, flooded landscape after some sort of battle. The next picture shows a print made by Murad Bone in 1918. What is that thing in the middle of the picture? Pause the video and see if you can write down an answer. Well, that thing in the middle of the picture is a tank. It's one of the first tanks that were used in the battlefields. In the foreground you can see the tank rolling across uneven land, and in the background another tank is following. Take a look at this picture. This one, made by Eric Kennington in 1917, shows a pilot. Why is he wearing that type of clothing? Pause the video, see if you can figure it out. Well, pilots were often exposed to the extreme cold while flying. Planes back then were not like the ones we had now. If you were a pilot, you were given a long leather coat, and many pilots added these fur collars to keep themselves warm when flying. As well as that, they wore soft flying helmets and goggles as well. Our next picture shows another airplane related scene. What is happening in this picture? Pause the video and see if you can write down an answer. This painting is called An Incident on the Western Front, and it shows a dogfight, which was an aerial battle between fighter planes at very close range. In the top left you can see a British plane heading towards a German plane, which is falling to the ground, leaving a trail of smoke behind it. Take a look at this picture. What do you think this place is? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this painting by Henry Tonks from 1918 shows a dressing station, kind of like a hospital, beside a ruined church. There are many wounded men, some on stretchers, and others covered in bandages on the ground. Have a look at this one. Who are these two people, do you think? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, these two were absolutely not friends. This painting by Colin Gill is called The Captive. This painting shows a German prisoner, the one lower down, and his British captor above, waiting in the trenches. Our final picture is one of my favourites. It's a very interesting one. Take a closer look at the men. Look at what they're doing with their arms, and look at what's on their faces above their eyes. What on earth do you think is happening in this picture? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this painting is called Gassed, and it shows a group of wounded soldiers walking in a line to safety. They have all been blinded due to a gas attack. So as we said at the start, all of these pieces of artwork were commissioned to show the experience of war. Which art piece did you think was the most effective? Which one do you think gave you the best sense of what the war was like? That's all we have time for this week. Until next time, take care.